Yeah.
This makes it a damn Super Bowl.
Right. Okay.
This is a Super Bowl.
So they don't need world titles. They don't need to be unifying titles.
If it was 5 people here,
Yeah.
when I give you 50.
Okay.
If it was 50 people here,
Right.
that question would be damn sure legitimate.
Yeah.
But as I took your phone,
Yeah.
and hopefully you post it with that answer
No, I will.
question, and I would say
These guys,
New York was
these
the
guys
same
are
thing.
attractions. They attract. They have fans.
we live in a culture where there's a lot of bullshit that's attractive.
Right.
And when you get something that's not bullshit, that you really don't really have to promote, that it's that big.
Yeah.
It's the 2 names.
Right.
In a 2023 era that we live in, that everything gets to people within a tenth of a second.
Right.
Come on, Doug. We
Did
outdated.
these guys-
man. How long
yeah.
you been in this business?
25 years.
We both outdated.
Yeah, I know.
When it comes to this type of fast movement, I'm being 100.
Yeah.
I'm putting me and you in the same category. I'm
I
not saying
appreciate
you.
it. I
If
appreciate
you're in
it.
denial and you feel that
No,
I can't, I can't change that.
that's
but I'm not in
it's
denial.
a
I'm
badge of honor.
Correct, because a lot of people ain't here to say that.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And when you fought Oscar, and I remember MGM Grand. I mean, that place was at that time the recipe for a successful pay-per-view was: does it tap into the East Coast? Does it tap into the West Coast? You tapped into the East Coast and the African American community. Oscar
why,
tapped
right?
into the West Coast
You know why,
and the
right?
Hispanic community.
Name a city or state that a Mexican don't live. Name a state or a city in America that that African American is not.
Right. So the ethnic mix, that's part of it.
Culture.
And the fact that these guys tap into different demographics as well. You know.
Who generate the most pay-per-views, Mexicans or anybody else?
Yeah, probably Mexico.
We ain't even
Well, that's
talk-
the biggest,
and-
most
and-
loyal
and
fan base
listen,
in the
and we
U.S.
ain't even talking about. I'm gonna give you another nugget. We're not even talking about the 2 biggest, hottest months in the Mexican heritage. You talk about
Right,
Cinco
right,
de
Cinco de
Mayo.
Mayo
You
and
talking Independence
Mexican
in
Independence
September.
Day.
Come on, man.
Yeah. It doesn't, as an old school fighter, it doesn't bug you at all that they could get to this status. Like Ryan, at such a young age, was he 23 years old? Maybe he's 24 by now. Yeah. To get to super fight status without having to do all of those steps, beat everybody in his division, collect all of the belts. That's what you had to do to get to De La Hoya. Right. You had to get all the belts. You had to beat Tito, and then it was a few years after that before you get it. You had to break Monzon's record.
Yes, but listen to this. In between those years you're talking, those historic years,
Yeah.
you gotta understand the demographic changes in everything, just like boxing has no escape from that.
Right.
And what I mean by that is that you have a moment now where a guy can have a belt and he doesn't mean nothing, but the belt is the only thing that makes him even in a conversation.
Right. That's true.
Those guys has been around the game for over a decade or more. We know they exist. When it comes to the name and the popularity, and also with the fight of Dunn and who he beat, that gives him the credibility today amongst the fans, amongst his star power, amongst his what he can bring in, what he can generate as far as pay-per-views. So when you look at that, at this demographic of this era, you got to understand that it's totally different. So what you got to belt? Who are you? You separate that belt from you, you're zero.
Yeah.
So when you can put yourself in a position where none of those belts can identify that you are that and that's all,
Yeah.
then you will always be to that belt where people believe your status are, but you're not to the people. To the people, you could be a beltless champion and still do big numbers in pay-per-view, still have 20,000 people in the arena. You've seen people do that, Doug. I've seen people do that. So right now, this time that we are in boxing, just because you have a belt, don't mean that you're great or going to be great. You just got one of the 4 alphabetical belts that we recognize. And the last one but not least of all of them, is the WBO. So the belts, if a fighter comes in his business thinking that belt going to certify his greatness, then he might as well go to one of those Macy's stores and get a belt and wear that.
Hey, Bernard, what do you make of the rehydration clause? What's your opinion on that? Because it surprised a lot of folks when Ryan said it yesterday.
I said it again. I said it to this young man. Earlier, I said it to this whole line.
Yeah.
Ryan gave up so much to do this fight. What did that tell you? Don't look at why. Look at why not. Dare to be great, you do daring things, right? I dare to be great, and I threw the flag down in Puerto Rico and lived to talk about it. Tell me they ain't ballsy. When you dare to be great, you'll give up things that people can't recognize and understand and think you must have lost your mind.
Well, people would say, like, why would he come in with that big of a disadvantage against...
Who said he was going to come in with that big of an advantage? They thought that maybe they go ahead and throw another nugget to stop the fight and not make it happen. You got to understand that people who want to do fights and there are people that don't want to do fights but don't tell you they want to do fights. They behavior. You ever had somebody say they love you and treat you like you shit?
No, when you look at it, Bernard, who's... It's like that weight cut. It did start to wear on you. Why won't that weight cut not being able to...
That shit don't mean nothing. I did agree with the fight Oscar for 156. I came in 154. Come on, man. Y'all don't know history. Look at me. I'm telling you. You think I'm just running my mouth?
Nah. But it did affect Oscar when he fought Manny.
I'm not Oscar.
That's a good one.
What was said between you and Gervonta yesterday in New York? It looked like he said a few words to you.
Yeah, we've said a couple of words to each other.
What'd you guys say?
He said, you know he ain't built like that, OG.
So he didn't get disrespectful with you. He was just saying about Ryan.
I don't think too many people get disrespected me, even though I can take it. It's not that I got some kind of armor or anything. I'm just saying like this, that, look, Philadelphia and where he lives literally is an hour. The same community, and that community know a lot of people in my community. I mean, personally. That's why I think his coach gave me, you heard it when it went viral, right? On stage in New York. Same thing here. We just see each other. Matter of fact, he wanted to spar with me when he came out. He made it clear to everybody he wanted to, fight me or whatever.
He wanted to spar with you when you were a young man?